speak. We want you to briefly go over your list. Briefly go over your list of what you all came up with. This exercise is like brainstorming. It is mainly when you do development, we call what we call a charrette, okay? This is what a charrette is, a collection of ideas at least 3 to 4 consecutive days, an open process that includes all interested parties, stakeholders, a collaborative process involving all disciplines, a series of short feedback loops, a process that produces a feasible plan, a journalist holistic approach. Normally you would have architects, engineers, city planners, community leaders, community groups, all get together when you're doing a development like this. And like I said, it's usually 3 to 5 days. This is what it's not, a one-day workshop. And we just try to make it in less than 30 minutes, right? A multi-day marathon meeting involving everyone all the time. A plan authored by a select few that will affect many. A vision session to stop short of implementation. What we want to do is, when you're dealing with a charrette or doing ideas, it's basically you're just trying to get people to see what their concerns are, and maybe what your problems are in the community. But what we were trying to do is just come up with your vision of a community, whatever that may be. We're not supposed to tell everybody, you know, this is what we're trying to do, give them an idea. Just, we want, because there may be something in their mind that you may not feel is important, but it may be. So we don't want to eliminate anybody. So we're going to start with the group in the back here in the back corner. If someone could stand or come forward.
Just because you have the mic, you don't believe it's yours, okay?
Right. Be very brief and read that so we can still have time to discuss it. Just read off what you all came up with in the group.
Our group, we decided that we're going to create a government of peace. We're going to create a government of peace where we call living peace together. We're going to establish the 9 ministries to govern our new society. We're going to have a business area where there's finance and technology and science. We're going to have create our own schools, Muhammad University of Islam, community centers to teach our children, trade schools so that we could create engineers, civil engineers, so that we could make sure that our environment is safe and clean. Agriculture, we're going to have an agricultural center where we do business. Where we produce our food, and then we're going to have an international trade where we make sure that we are feeding the entire planet. We're going to have an irrigation system with that farming, parks and environment, natural conservation. We want to make sure that we're looking out for our senior citizens and people with special needs. So that goes to the community centers. We're going to make sure that we have security in our environment. That goes to the Ministry of Defense. Making sure that no one can come in and do like how they did with Black Wall Street. Things like that. Land use. I think we discussed a lot more, but I think that's right, you guys? Yeah, that's
Very good, thank you, brother. All right, next we're just gonna come on this way, this group right here.
Yes. So our town that we created is mostly situated by lakes and rivers and creeks. We'll have a water bottling company, as well as a water treatment center. Of course, water is a big thing. As well as fisheries that play into aquaponics to help our farm. Of course, we'll have a seed vault. We'll have laborers for landscaping, a community recreation center. We'll, of course, have schools and housing that's mixed, like duplexes, apartments, and condos. There'll be no homeless people. If they don't have a job, we have a job for them to do so they can pay for where they stay. Of course, we'll have security. We'll have trucks and ships for trading and trades and distribution. Of course, grocery stores, Black Muslim Museum. Yeah, we need that. We'll have airports and pilots, of course, still for trades and distribution. Of course, we'll have the mosque. Public transportation for those who do not have cars. We'll have a Department of Transportation to maintain the roads and the highways. Schools, of course, dentists, hospitals, vineyards. I mean, there's much more.
All right, this group right here.
Thank you. We said people with skills to teach other people those skills. We need liaison for farms and community managers, international trade, solar community, animals, veterinarians, doctors, engineers. We have our own security, our own military, a research and development team. We have banking. We have our own seamstress, so we can make our own clothes. Gardening for the youth, senior living system, where we take care of our elders when they are unable to take care of themselves. A process of Medicare retirement system that they have paid their dues into our society. Our own hospitals, and I think that's it, pretty much.
Thank you, sir. Okay, in the back on this side.
Okay, we have people that test the land for the minerals, a community center, schools, a land surveyor, farmers, builders, banks, transportation system, solar power, water treatment plant, waste center, engineers, grocery stores, security like police, mosques, hospitals, churches, healthcare, cultural center, art for arts, humanities, animals, husbandry, dairy, farm, parks, libraries, museums, churches, already said that, fitness center, clothing, factories, bakery, shoe shop, food shops, mechanics, tech center, dentist, courts, funeral homes, pilots, airports, travel center, trades, ports, jewelers, fish hatchery, cemetery planning committees, and we got to name our community.
That's our paper. The paper belongs to us. It's called brain water.
Next group.
This was the white one. That's why he let you come to graduate school, so he can steal your damn ideas.
Assalamu alaikum. I want to give y'all some background. We started out talking about how much land we wanted and how many people per acre, and we just went down the road till Brother Cannon told us we needed to keep it simple. So we first started out with food, shelter, and clothing. So housing, we talked about being self-sustainable, school, business, post office, a medical center, a doctor, firehouse, sanitation department, parks, recreation, a community center, stores, all of them, retail, some to buy groceries, a spiritual center, security is very important. My brother really wanted a dairy farm, but we talked about having, okay, yes sir, cleaners, banking, power, water purification, cars, mechanic, printing, to let the community know what's happening in the community, library, records, courthouse, public transportation.
quick because we gotta leave out of here and go to the minister's presentation.
That's amazing. Right quickly, to my group, if I didn't mention what you brought up, that means it was brought up already. Okay, we're not going to duplicate everything. Going quick, we're going to focus key on the manufacturing for our community. Also, what was key that was brought up that wasn't mentioned earlier, we want attainable and sustainable housing. Energy efficient, not just energy efficiency as someone, man, we want to do some energy production in our community. How can we produce energy? Coffee shop, greenhouses, promote farming as a standard in our community. We had that waste management was mentioned, but we also want to key on recycling as a part of our community. We want debt-free homes and modular homes for those who can't afford it. And everything else was just about covered, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Put my name in case my penmanship is
We still in this. It's just you can't get no royalties off it.
Okay, I want to give it everyone get all the other groups a hand. We're going to go real quickly. We don't have any time for question and answer because we're going to obey, hear and obey. We're going to leave out on time to go and hear from Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. But you know, as you all were reading off your statements, it reminded me, you know, of the scripture in the Bible that said the kingdom of heaven is where? It's within you. All we got to do is ask you the question, and it'll come out. Now we got to put a process to that of how we take those ideas and put it into making the word flesh. Okay? So thank you all for participating. We're going to keep this information, and hopefully it's going to help us as we collaborate and try to come up with a model community. So thank you all for participating. I'll see you later.
Close out in prayer. Now this summer we have the Founders Day, and we will continue this process at Founders Day. Okay? Yes, sir. All right. Prayer. Prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, we believe in you, we trust in you for all that we need. We help us in the cause where possible. Will Allah please grant you success. Amen? Amen. Thank you very much. Thank you.